Hey guys, and welcome back to Monka, where items ensue, but recently I've had a food that is now discontinued, but it's still within the expiration. And I kind of want to talk about it because, since it's coming off the shelves, I guess that means this is my last chance to have a video on it because it's probably never going to come back. But today we're going to be talking about Pop Tarts, specifically the Boston Cream Donut Pop Tarts. These came on the shelves the same time as Apple Fritter, and they are leaving at the same time as well. I guess people didn't like the Apple Fritter or Boston Cream Donut enough for it to stay on shelves, and so both are going away at the same time, which is kind of weird because it's usually they bring around like 3 or so and then they take 2 off the shelves and keep one around. But for this one, both the Apple Fritter and the Boston Cream Donut just come off the shelf at the same time. But I found this 16 pack at Walmart for $4.98, and honestly they had plenty of them, so obviously these weren't very popular. But 2 pastries is 370 calories, which is about the average for a Pop-Tart. But overall, my opinion on the Boston Cream Donut Pop-Tarts are, they're actually pretty good, so it's kind of disappointing that they'll be going away. I don't really think I'll miss them like hardcore, but they're still pretty good Pop-Tarts nonetheless, so it's kind of a shame that they're going away. But this is what one Boston Cream Donut Pop-Tart looks like. It's got a pretty standard crust on it, and then it has that chocolate frosting, which by the way is very generous for a Pop-Tart. And I don't know if it was just the box I got, but all of the Pop-Tarts in the box that I got were very generously frosted like this. But that is what the inside looks like. Nothing too crazy to look at, to be honest. They don't really have any interest going on in there. But my opinion on the Boston Cream Donut Pop-Tarts is that they're pretty good, to be honest, but they're nothing too crazy. The crust is the standard Pop-Tart crust that everyone knows. It's sweet, it's bland, but it definitely does its job for being, I guess, a pastry. They don't do anything too crazy with it, and maybe it's placebo, but it tasted slightly different to me than a regular Pop-Tart crust. But like I said, I think that might be placebo. But the frosting is a chocolate flavored frosting, and honestly, that's probably the strongest flavor I got from this. It's kind of like a milk chocolate, but it's actually pretty nice, to be honest. I kind of like the flavor of the frosting. It's very much different from the other type of chocolate Pop-Tarts that they have, since the other ones are kind of more like a darker chocolate usually for the frosting. This one is actually kind of like more of a milky chocolate, and so it's actually a pretty good flavor, and it comes through pretty well, to be honest. And it kind of overtakes the filling by a little bit, because mostly what I tasted was the frosting and not the filling. But what I do get of the filling of the Boston Cream Donut Pop-Tarts is I get more of a kind of like a more sweeter, almost custardy type of filling that honestly kind of does remind you of a filled donut, to be honest, even though I don't like filled donuts, more or less because the filling is usually runny. But in this case the filling doesn't run, so it's actually pretty nice. But it does kind of have this nice little sweet vanilla flavor to it that actually kind of has this, kind of creaminess to it that's kind of nice as well. You'll kind of get a vibe of maybe confetti cupcake Pop-Tart from the filling, but it's a lot better because it's a lot more complex than what the confetti Pop-Tart does with this kind of bland filling and everything that it has going on with it. But in a complete package, honestly, it's pretty good. But like I said, the milk chocolate frosting kind of overtakes that custardy filling, and so the custardy filling really just complements the chocolate frosting with the sweetness. But you will get it, but it's a lot less pronounced than the frosting. But overall, it's still pretty good because that frosting tastes pretty good. But overall, my opinion on the Boston Cream Donut Pop-Tarts are that they're pretty good, to be honest. I don't think anyone's gonna hardcore miss them, but they are kind of ashamed that they're coming off the shelves because they're not that bad of a Pop-Tart either. They're not the worst Pop-Tart that I've ever had. They're not the greatest either, but they're pretty good overall. I think they're pretty enjoyable, and so if you can find a box before they come off the shelves, I'd highly recommend it because, they're pretty decent and they're worth having. I would say between the Apple Fritter and the Boston Cream Donut, that the Boston Cream Donut is definitely a lot better. But thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you. Stay chill.